अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तरूपा अनन्तनामा आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधव अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधव करुणासागर कालिङ्गनर्तन करुणासागर कालिङ्गनर्तन हे कृपा सिन्धो कृष्ण हे कृपा सिन्धो अनन्तरूप अनन्तनाम आदिमूला नारायण विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वव्यापक नारायण विश्वरूपा विश्वाधारा विश्वव्यापक नारायण विश्वतैजस प्राज्ञस्वरूप हे दया सिन्धो कृष्ण हे दया सिन्धो अनन्तरूप अनन्तनाम आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तशयना हे जगन्नाथ कमलनयना हे माधव करुणासागर कालिङ्गनर्तन हे कृपा सिन्धो कृष्ण हे कृपा सिन्धो अनन्तरूप अनन्तनाम आदिमूला नारायण अनन्तरूप अनन्तनाम आदिमूला नारायण
सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः ॐ यं ब्रह्मा वरुणेन्द्ररुद्रमरुतः स्तुन्वन्ति दिव्यैस्तवैः वेदैः साङ्गपदक्रमोपनिषदैः गायन्ति यं सामगाः ध्यानावस्थिततद्गतेन मनसा पश्यन्ति यं योगिनः यस्यान्तं न विदुःसुरासुरगणाः देवाय तस्मै नमः देवाय तस्मै नमः. Humble prostrations to one and all. In the last class, we had seen Arjuna makes a request to Bhagavan, saying, Bhagavan, it is a deep desire in me to see your divine form, where I am able to see you alone everywhere in the world. Because you had told that the whole world is existing in you. You are the sum and substance of the whole world. The world has no existence apart from you. You had told this. And the great Mahatmas, they are able to see you everywhere in this world. For them, Vishwadarshanam is Ishvara Darshanam alone. They see Bhagavan manifested in everything, every being and everywhere. Bhagavan, they could achieve this because their minds were pure. They did long years of sadhana, thus making their mind pure. Thus, with the mind saturated with divine love, they were able to see Bhagavan alone everywhere. Now my request to you, Bhagavan, is, I understand that I am not qualified because I have not done such sadhana. But Bhagavan, but you are Yogeshvara. All the powers of this world, they are under your control. So there is nothing impossible for you. So if you wish, you can definitely impart that divine vision to me, though I am not qualified. So Bhagavan, will you please do it for me? But Bhagavan, if you think that it is not good for me, then please don't give. But if there is no harm, if it will not in any way harm me, and if you don't mind, Bhagavan, will you please give this divine vision? So then what did Bhagavan do? Bhagavan said, Arjuna, you are such a devoted disciple of mine. What is that I will not do for my devotee? Pashya, see, whatever you have asked, I will definitely fulfill your desire. Pashya, see, me rupani, my form, shatashah, sahasrashah, in hundreds and thousands. So this world which you see, which has got so many forms, so many varieties of forms in different shapes and sizes in all fields, may you see all these forms as my form. Me rupani pashya, divyani pashya, nana vidhani pashya. May you see the whole world which is filled with varieties of forms. May you see them as my form. May you see them as divine. May you see me alone in all these forms. Not only all these forms, Pashya, Adityan, Vasun, Rudran, in all these gods and deities like Aditya-devatas and Vasus and Rudras, Marudganas, may you see me alone. So up to verse number 6 we had seen. Now let us continue with verse number 7. Let us chant. Ihaikastham jagat kritsnam pashyadya sacharacharam Mama dehe gudakesha yacchānyadrashtumicchasi ihaikastham jagatkritsnam pasyādya sacharacharam mama dehe gudakesha yacchānyadrashtumicchasi. Hey Gudākesha. Hey Gudākesha. Here Bhagavan addresses Arjuna as Gudākesha. What is Gudākesha? Gudāka Ishah, the Lord of Gudāka. What is Gudāka? So Gudāka generally they translate it as sleep. So the Lord of sleep, the one who has conquered sleep, such a person is called Gudākesha. Maybe that Arjuna had that power. But in this context, why should Bhagavan call Arjuna as Gudākesha? So this word will have to be differently interpreted. So what is sleep? Sleep is nothing but the characteristic of a tamasic mind. When the mind becomes tamasic, we enter into sleep. So therefore, Gudākesha can mean the one who has conquered tamas. Now what are the characteristics of tamas? So when our mind is tamasic, we are bored, we tend to be lazy, we tend to be inattentive, we tend to be careless, we tend to be not interested. These are all the signs when the mind is occupied with the characteristics of tamas. So here, when Bhagavan is calling Arjuna Gudākesha, so we have to understand what Bhagavan means is, Arjuna, I don't find any trace of tamas in you. So even when I am giving this knowledge, you are giving total attention to me. You are paying total attention. There is absolutely no sign of any boredom in you. You are not at all careless. There is total attention, there is total interest, there is total concentration. So therefore, since you have such a mind, I will call you Gudākesha. So this way we have to understand. So since Arjuna was paying total attention to Bhagavan, seeing this interest and focus and dedication and sincerity in gaining knowledge, seeing this total attention in Arjuna, Bhagavan is calling Arjuna as Gudākesha. So this way we have to understand. So whenever Gudākesha term comes, we have to understand Bhagavan is appreciating the deep interest which Arjuna is showing towards his knowledge. So, hey Gudākesha, how do we know that Arjuna is really showing interest? The very fact that Arjuna is involved in this discussion, asking relevant questions at the right time, that itself shows that he is paying total attention. Again, Arjuna himself has said in the beginning of this chapter that my delusions have gone. Mohoyam vigato mama, it is said in the first verse. So delusion will not go if we don't pay attention to this knowledge. So that itself shows he was paying attention. The very fact that Bhagavan is going on and on with this knowledge, we are in the 11th chapter. Unless you have an interested student in front of you, you don't feel like speaking. In very many of these chapters, we will find Arjuna did not ask any question, but Bhagavan voluntarily takes up various topics and he gives the knowledge to Arjuna, though Arjuna had not asked. For example, 4th chapter, it is Bhagavan who volunteers to give knowledge. In 15th chapter also you will see, 9th chapter, so many chapters we find where Arjuna did not ask any question, but Bhagavan was happily giving this knowledge, touching various aspects of spiritual knowledge which Arjuna had not asked for. So this shows that Arjuna was really interested in this knowledge, and therefore Bhagavan was pouring out this knowledge from his heart. Right, so Arjuna was called GUDΑKESHA. Hey GUDΑKESHA, what does Bhagavan say? Pashya, see. 5th verse, 6th verse, 7th verse, this term is there. Pashya, Pashya, see Arjuna, see whatever you have asked, I am showing you. Pashya, Iha Pashya, Adya Pashya, Iha, right here you see. Adya, right now you see. Right here, right now, I will show you whatever you have asked. There is no delay at all. I will only wholeheartedly fulfill your desire. Right now, right here, Pashya, see. What? Sacharacharam Jagat Pashya, see. Jagat, you see. What kind of Jagat is this? Sacharacharam, the world which is filled with insentient and sentient entities, living and non-living entities. Sacharacharam, chara, achara. Chara, moving, achara, non-moving. So, living and non-living, or sentient and insentient entities, that is this world. So, such a world, which is Kritsnam Jagat, the entire world. The entire world filled with sentient and insentient entities, Arjuna, see, Pashya. Yacha Anyadrashtumicchasi. Arjuna, is there something else you want to see? You may see that also. Anything you want to see, you may see it here. But Bhagavan, where should I see? Mama dehe Pashya, Arjuna. Mama dehe, in my body you see. You see the whole world existing in my body. So therefore, ekastham, in one place. What is that place? My body. Ekastham mama dehe pashya. May you see the whole world in my body, in this one place called my body. So just like all the limbs in the body, they don't have any independent existence other than the body. So as long as these limbs, as long as these sense organs, as long as they are with the body, they are alive, they are able to function. But the moment they are separated from the physical body, they will not be able to function. They will not exist. So their existence and their functioning depends on being with the body. In the same way, Arjuna, everything, the whole world, the Kritsnam Jagat, it has no existence apart from me. Now, this is the meaning Mama Dehe. Existing in my body means what? They have no existence apart from me. They cannot function apart from me. So what does it mean? I am the one who is giving existence to the entire world. This is what Bhagavan says. Mama Dehe Pashya means that I give existence to this entire world of sentient and insentient entities. This may you see. May you see that the world has no independent existence other than me. And this is exactly what you have asked. And this is what I am showing. So Bhagavan was saying, Pashya, 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 see Arjuna, see, see. But Arjuna said, Bhagavan, where? I am not able to see. You have been saying, see, 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 but I am not able to see. So suddenly Bhagavan remembered that the most important thing to see this vision has not been given. So Bhagavan said, oh Arjuna, I am really sorry. In my excitement to show you this divine form, I forgot a very, very important thing. What is that thing? Let us see verse number 8. Na tu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pasya me yogamaishwaram. Na tu mam shakyase drashtum anenaiva svachakshusha divyam dadami te chakshuhu pasya me yogamaishwaram. Yes, Arjuna, I am really sorry. I am saying, see. But the means to see, the instrument to see, I have not given. And I am asking you to see. Arjuna, mam drashtum na shakyase. Arjuna, you will not be able to see me. This divine form which I want you to see, which you desire to see, you will not be able to see. Mam drashtum na shakyase. My divine form, you will not be able to see. With what? Anena swachakshusha eva. Swachakshusha. With your eyes. Anena, with this worldly eyes of yours. With this physical eyes of yours alone, eva means alone. With this physical eye alone, you will not be able to see my divine form. Ataha, therefore, te, to you, Divyachakshu dadami. I will give you Divyachakshu, divine eyes. So with this fleshy eyes of yours, you will not be able to see my divine form. So therefore, I will give you a divine eye, Divyachakshu. Divyachakshu I will give you. With this Divyachakshu, may Aishwaram Yogam Pashya. May you see Aishwaram Yogam. This divine yoga, the power of Māyā, may you see. Yoga means that power. Bhagavan's power of Māyā is called yoga here. So, my divine power of Māyā, Arjuna, may you see with this divine eyes which I will give you. So, what is Bhagavan saying? To have this Divya-drishti, to see Vishwarupa Darshana, to see the whole world existing in the Lord, to see the whole world as the manifestation of the Lord, what is necessary? Bhagavan says two things are necessary. So with the fleshy eyes you see the world, but with the divine eye you see the world as the manifestation of the Lord. So both the eyes are necessary, Divyachakshu and Laukika-chakshu. It is exactly like watching a 3D film. So you will have to wear a special glasses to see that 3D film, isn't it? So your eyes are necessary and the 3D glass is also necessary. A blind person, just by having 3D glass, he will not be able to see that 3D film. Or a person, he has eyes but he doesn't have that 3D glass, he will also not see. So who will see? The one who has both these eyes, our normal eye and the 3D glass. such a person will be able to see the 3D film. In the same way, to see Vishwarupa Darshanam, what are the qualifications? That person should have the physical eye to have Vishwadarshanam. That anyway we are having it. But to have Vishwarupa Darshanam, to have Ishvara Darshanam in Vishwadarshanam, we must have Divyachakshu. So Bhagavan says, Arjuna, I will give you that Divyachakshu to you. Te Divyam Chakshuhu dadami. With this Divyachakshu, may Aishwaram Yogam Pashya. May you see this power of my Māyā. And then what happened? Now, Bhagavan gives that Divyachakshu in the next verse. So let us chant next verse. Verse number 9. Sanjaya uvacha eva muktva tato rajan Mahājogeshvaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupamaishwaram eva muktva tato rajan Mahājogeshvaro harihi darshayamasa parthaya paramam rupamaishwaram. Hey Rajan, O king. So who is the king here? Dhritarashtra is the king. So Sanjaya is telling this to Dhritarashtra. So, O king, evam uktva, having said so. What did Bhagavan say? Bhagavan said that I will give you Divyachakshu. So, evam uktva, having said so, saying thus, what did Bhagavan do? Mahājogeshvaro harihi. Now see the term used for Bhagavan. Bhagavan's name is Mahājogeshvara. That Lord who has all the powers under his control. He is the Ishvara of all yoga. He is the controller of all powers. So therefore Bhagavan is called Mahājogeshvara. So that Bhagavan who had all powers under his control. So therefore he exercised this power. This is the point. What is the power he exercised? He gave that Divyachakshu to Arjuna because he had all powers under his control. So therefore Bhagavan is called Mahājogeshvara. Now another term is used here, Harihi. Harati iti Harihi. The one who removes is called Hari. What does he remove? What he removes depends on the situation. So if it is an Artha Bhakta who is praying to him, a devotee who is filled with distress, misery, sorrow, so then Bhagavan becomes Hari. He removes the sorrow, he removes the misery of that devotee. He removes the Arti of the Artha Bhakta. But if the devotee is a Mumukshu, a desirer of liberation, so what does Bhagavan remove? He removes the samsara. He removes the bondage, bandhana. So what Bhagavan removes depends on what we ask from him. So here, what does Bhagavan remove? That's why that term is used, Harihi. So here Bhagavan removes the obstacle which is preventing Arjuna from gaining this divine vision. So what is the obstacle? The obstacle is the absence of Divyachakshu. So therefore Bhagavan is removing this obstacle by providing him the Divyachakshu. So Bhagavan is Vigna Harta here, removal of Vigna, obstacle. So Bhagavan removes this obstacle by giving that Divyachakshu. So therefore Bhagavan's name is Harihi. So MAHÂYOGESHVARO Harihi. Tataha, then what did he do? Parthaya, to Arjuna, to Partha, to his beloved disciple, to his beloved devotee, to the son of his beloved devotee. All this meaning can go. Parthaya, to the one whom he loved very much. Parthaya, what did Bhagavan do? Paramam Aishwaram Rupam Darshayamasa. Bhagavan Darshayamasa, he showed him what? Rupam, his form. What kind of form? Paramam Aishwaram Rupam, his supremely divine form. So Bhagavan's form is described as supremely divine. In fact, this Vishwarupa Darshanam is called as supremely divine here. Now, what is the difference between divine and supremely divine? Why that Paramam adjective is used? See, when a person is seeing God only in one form, then that is a divine form. If a person is able to see only Rama, rather a person is able to see, a Rama Bhakta is able to see Bhagavan in only Rama form. A Shiva Bhakta is able to see Shiva, the Lord, only in Shiva form. Now they are all divine forms, no doubt. But what is supremely divine form? When a person is able to see God in everyone and everything and everywhere, then we call it supremely divine. He is not stuck with one form or one deity or one idol, one murti. No. In such cases, that divine form is limited to that particular form. So therefore we cannot call it supremely divine. So Paramam Aishwaram Rupam, this term has been used because the one who is able to see God in everything, in the whole world, that vision is definitely supreme. Why do we call it supreme? We call it supreme because that is a right vision, that is a perfect vision, and that's a complete vision. In this world, very many people, they resort to violence because of spirituality. We see violence in this world. And mainly, in majority of the cases, we see spirituality becoming a cause for violence. Religions fight amongst each other. Even in the same religion also people fight amongst each other in the name of their Ishta-devatā. The Vishnu Bhaktas fight with Shiva Bhaktas. This is well known in Hinduism. Where is the problem? They are able to see that divine form only in Vishnu or Shiva. They are not able to see Bhagavan's form in any other form. This is the problem. So therefore, what is the best vision? The best vision is that vision where we are able to see divinity everywhere, in everything, in every being. That is the best. So that is why the term is used, Paramam Aishwaram Rupam. It is supreme. It is the best. You rise above all kinds of differences. You rise above all kinds of limitations, imperfections in that vision. That vision is free from all kinds of limitations, imperfections. So therefore, such a form is called supremely divine form. I am able to love God in any form. I have no problem with any religion. I have no problem with any God. When our heart expands to that level, then that is the state of a perfect heart, that vision is the state of perfect vision. So therefore, the term used is Paramam Aishwaram Rupam. So what did Bhagavan do? Bhagavan showed his divine form, supremely divine form, to Arjuna. But how did he show? So we have to understand, Bhagavan showed it by giving the Divyachakshu. So now Arjuna gains the Divya-drishti, and with this drishti he is seeing the world. Now before proceeding to further verses where there is explanation regarding what Arjuna sees, we have to understand what were the features present in this Divya-drishti. So now Arjuna has this Divya-drishti. So in this Divya-drishti there are so many features incorporated. So when we read the following verses, we come to know that there were so many features incorporated in this Divya-drishti. So what are those features? Let us have a brief discussion now so that it becomes easy later. So what all were the features incorporated in Divya-drishti? So Divya-drishti had number 1, Jñāna-drishti, number 2, Atīndriya-drishti, number 3, Paraloka-drishti, and number 4, Trikāla-drishti. So what all things Arjuna was able to see? So for our ease of analysis, we will have these 4 features in Divya-drishti. So what are they? Jñāna-drishti, Atīndriya-drishti, Paraloka-drishti and Trikāla-drishti. Arjuna had made use of these features. Though Bhagavan had said, Yacha anyadrashtum ichchasi, Arjuna, you see whatever you want. This is what Bhagavan said. So these were the features made use by Arjuna. So what are these? So first one is Jñāna-drishti. What does it mean? Jñāna-drishti, the ability to see the essence of the thing, the reality of the thing. This we will call Jñāna-drishti. So what is the essence of this world? It is nothing but Bhagavan. So the ability to see Bhagavan in everything, we will call it as Jñāna-drishti. This world has come from Bhagavan, it exists in Bhagavan and it dissolves in Bhagavan. So therefore this world is nothing but the manifestation of Bhagavan. This knowledge, we will call it, this vision we will call it Jñāna-drishti. Just like the ability to see gold in gold ornaments, we will call it Jñāna-drishti. In the same way here also. So number 1, Jñāna-drishti. Number 2, Arjuna was also blessed with Atīndriya-drishti. Indriya means sense organs. So we are perceiving this world with our sense organs. Eyes are able to see, ears are able to hear, etc. Arjuna also had Atīndriya-drishti. Atīndriya-drishti means what? All our senses, whether eyes, ears, nose, etc., they have limitations. There are certain things which we can see, there are many things which we cannot see. That is because of the limitation of the eyes. Small things we cannot see. Far away things we cannot see. Why we cannot see? We cannot see because the eyes are limited. In the same way, ears. There are so many sound frequencies we cannot hear. Other animals are able to hear, but we are not able to hear it. That is a limitation of the ears. So in the same way, Shabda, Sparsha, Rupa, Rasa, Gandha, all these 5 sense perceptions, there is limitation. Our senses have got limitation. Now, in this Divya-drishti, we see, as we see the following verses, we see that Arjuna was blessed with Atīndriya-drishti. Atīndriya-drishti means what? He was able to see anything. He was capable of seeing anything. There was no limitation for his senses. He was able to hear everything. He was able to see everything. So the sense organs were freed from all their limitations. So therefore we will use the term Atīndriya-drishti. This feature was a part of Divya-drishti. And another one is Paraloka-drishti. Paraloka-drishti means what? He is able to see not only this world, but he is able to see the other worlds also. In our scriptures, there is a description of 14 different worlds. So Paraloka-drishti means Arjuna was able to see all those different worlds and the beings in those worlds. This is also a part of Divya-drishti. And then Trikāla-drishti. Arjuna was able to see the past, he was able to see the present and also the future. What is going to happen in the future? Ability to see the future. Now that is also a kind of drishti. So we will call it Trikāla-drishti. What are the three kalas? Bhuta, Vartamana, Bhavishya kala. The past, present and the future. Arjuna was blessed with that ability to see that also. So these are the features used by Arjuna while employing Divya-drishti. So we know this by seeing the future verses. So as we see verse by verse, we will understand that all these features were used by Arjuna. Right. So now, here Sanjaya, interestingly, it is Sanjaya who is saying, who is speaking to Dhritarashtra, saying that, O king, saying so, the Lord of all powers, that MAHÂYOGESHVARA Hari, he showed his divine form to Arjuna. Now the next verse is a description of what Arjuna saw. But who is describing it? Sanjaya is describing it. So what does it mean? Even Sanjaya was seeing what Arjuna was seeing. So whatever Arjuna saw, Sanjaya also saw. And therefore Sanjaya was able to describe it. So here another hint is also there. So here Sanjaya is glorifying Bhagavan as MAHÂYOGESHVARO Hari to Dhritarashtra, giving a hint that, O king, when such a Lord is there with the Pandavas, such an all-powerful Lord is there with the Pandavas, where is the question of Pandavas going to lose the war? That hint is also there. So now, what did Arjuna see? Now Sanjaya is describing what Arjuna saw. So let us chant verse number 10 and 11. Anekavaktranayana Anekadbhutadarshanam Anekadivyabharanam Divyanekodyatāyudham Anekavaktranayana Anekadbhutadarshanam Anekadivyabharanam Divyanekodyatāyudham Divyamalyambaradharam Divyagandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishvatomukham Divyamalyambaradharam Divyagandhanulepanam Sarvascharyamayam Devam Anantam Vishvato Mukham. Yes. So what did Bhagavan show Arjuna? So in the previous verse it is said Parthaya Darshayamasa. Bhagavan showed Arjuna. What did Bhagavan show? Aishwaram Rupam Darshayamasa. The divine form Bhagavan showed. Now what is that divine form? So that divine form is described in these two verses. So what is said here? Aneka Vaktranāyanam, that form which had many Vaktram. Vaktra means faces. Face. Nayanam, eyes. So that form with very many faces and eyes. Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, that form which had very many sights of wonder. It was filled with wonderful sights. Aneka Divya-bharanam, a form which had Abharanam, ornaments. Divya-abharanam, divine ornaments. So that form which was adored with very many divine ornaments. Divya Aneka Udyata Ayudham. So that form had many hands. And these very many hands had in it Ayudham, weapons, which were Udyata, uplifted. So the hands with uplifted weapons. Uplifted for what? So these weapons were raised in order to strike, in order to attack. And those weapons were Divyam, divine. Divya Malyambharadharam. There was Divya Mala and Ambara. Ambara means dress. So that form which had worn divine dress and divine garlands. Divya Gandhanulepanam. That form which had applied divine perfumes, Gandha. Fragrant perfumes, fragrant and divine. Okay. Sarvascharyamayam Devam. So that Devam, that Lord, he was Sarvascharyamayam. Everything about that Lord was wonderful, filled with wonder. Anantam Devam, that Lord was infinite. Vishvato Mukham Devam. Vishvato Mukham, the Lord who had his faces in all directions. So such Devam. Now what is the verb here? Interestingly, 10 and 11, these two verses don't have any verb. So we have to understand the verb has to come from the 9th verse. Darshayamasa. Bhagavan showed such a God to Arjuna. Right. So what is being said here? Now when we read this description literally, we tend to imagine a Lord with so many faces, so many eyes, so many hands, so many weapons. And this is what we generally see. Any picture of Vishwarupa Darshanam, we see such a picture, where Krishna is standing, a huge form with so many heads, varieties of heads of so many devatas, with so many hands, in each hand different weapons. So these two verses become the inspiration for all the artists to draw the Vishwarupa of Bhagavan, divine form of Bhagavan. And we also carry that kind of image that kind of impression about this Vishwarupa. Now we have to make a slight correction in that impression. Please understand, what is Arjuna's request? Arjuna's request is, Bhagavan, may I be able to see you in the world. Vishwarupa Darshanam, the name itself says Vishwadarshanam is happening, but in and through Vishwadarshanam, Ishvara Darshanam is happening. So what is the form of the Lord? Vishwam itself should be the form of the Lord. You cannot have some other form. Vishwarupam itself is Ishvara Rupam. So therefore, what should Arjuna see? Arjuna must see the form of Vishwam alone. Now this has to be understood. If you are seeing some separate God in the world, that will not be Vishwarupa Darshanam. That can be some Rupa Darshanam, but it cannot be Vishwarupa Darshanam. In Vishwarupa Darshanam, the necessary condition is Bhagavan should be seen in Vishwam. So therefore, when it is said Aneka Vaktra Nayanam, that Lord with many Vaktra face and many eyes. So what should it mean? There can be only one meaning. The meaning is Arjuna is seeing all the faces as Bhagavan's face and all the eyes as Bhagavan eyes. Now where is Arjuna? Arjuna is in the battlefield. In the battlefield, two armies have come together. They are standing face to face. And we know Pandava army consisted of 7 Akshauhinis. Kaurava army consisted of 11 Akshauhinis, so lakhs of people. And with horses and elephants, chariots, etc. This is the scene. So now what is Arjuna seeing? Arjuna is seeing that all the faces, all the heads belong to Bhagavan alone. All the eyes belong to Bhagavan alone. So not only human faces, the faces of the horse, the faces of the elephants, whom does it belong to? Arjuna is seeing that they all belong to Bhagavan alone. It is Bhagavan himself who is behind all these faces. This is the way we have to understand. So he is seeing the world. His Laukika-chakshu is showing the world, but his Divya-chakshu is showing Bhagavan behind the world. So just like a very famous actor, when he is taking the role of Rama, so in and through the role of Rama in the drama or in the film, we are seeing that actor and we know that actor also. Oh, so this famous actor is playing the role of Rama in this drama. So in drama you are seeing that Rama, but behind Rama who are you seeing? You know, this is that famous actor who is doing this role. So behind that Rama role, behind that Rama's makeup, you are seeing that actor, isn't it? In the same way, Arjuna was seeing Bhagavan alone behind the faces of all people there. Aneka Vaktra Nayanam. So those eyes belong to Bhagavan. It appeared as though these eyes belong to that individual horse or the elephant or that soldier or the Maharathi, Atirathi, that face and the eyes. But Arjuna could see with his Jñāna-drishti that they all belong to Bhagavan alone, that Bhagavan himself was residing in all of them. This is called Aneka Vaktra Nayanam. This way we have to understand Vishwarupa now. Now this is something which cannot be painted. So all the artists, they are helpless, they have no other way. Because the physical eye will show only the ordinary world. It is with the Divyachakshu that I am able to see the divine form behind the world. Aneka Vaktranayana, so all those people. So in enemies also, what am I seeing? I am seeing Bhagavan alone. In my army, in my enemy's army, everywhere I am seeing Bhagavan and Bhagavan alone. Aneka Vaktranayana. And that is why it is called Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. This darshanam is Adbhutam. This vision is a wonder. Adbhutam. Why is it a wonder? The moment I see my enemy as my own beloved Lord seated in his heart, what happens to my enmity? Disappears. What happens to my revenge, bitterness? Disappears. What happens to that relationship? Disappears. What happens to all relationship? Every relationship becomes a divine relationship. It becomes Divyam. So that is why so many Divyam terms are used in these verses. Divyam is divine. Everything is transformed into divine. Now I cannot see my enemy as my enemy, because in my enemy what am I seeing? I am seeing Bhagavan alone. Externally there is a form of my enemy, but internal essence is my own beloved Lord taking the form of my enemy. Now, what will happen to all kinds of enmity? It will just disappear. That is why it is called Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam. Your perception completely get transformed. Earlier I was seeing only a world, so I was indifferent. I had a lot of ragadvesha, etc. But the moment I see Bhagavan in the world, my perception completely changes. So this complete change of perception is indicated by this term Aneka Adbhuta Darshanam, a vision which is filled with wonder. Bhagavan alone has become everything. Bhagavan alone has become the horse, the elephant, the enemy, the ally, everything. Bhagavan alone has become everything. Aneka Divya Abharanam. See the term Divya here. Abharanam, so all these warriors, they had put on ornaments. So now he sees that these ornaments don't belong to them, it belongs to Bhagavan alone. It is Bhagavan alone who is standing in front, wearing all these ornaments. So therefore, these ornaments have become Divyam, divine. You see this? We have discussed this before. Anything connected to Bhagavan is Divyam. Anything related to Bhagavan is Divyam. So in the temple, when we have these ornaments of the Lord, it is called Divyabharanam. Ornaments meant for the Lord is called Divyabharanam. Now what is Arjuna seeing? Arjuna is seeing that every individual who is standing there, it doesn't matter which army he belongs to, whether it is Kaurava force or Pandava force, it doesn't matter. He is seeing Bhagavan alone in everyone. So since everyone is Bhagavan, every possession of everyone should also belong to Bhagavan. So therefore, Abharanam becomes Divyam. Even the ornaments become divine. Divyanekodhyata ayudham, udyata ayudham. Now why are they standing, these people? They are warriors, they are come to fight, they are soldiers. So all their hands, they are equipped with weapons. What kind of weapons? Not comfortably placed, but they have held their weapons to fight, to kill. Udyata ayudham it is. They are ready to fight. So they are uplifted weapons. Now what do we do with weapons? With weapons we kill. There is bloodshed. So generally weapons are considered inauspicious because the end result is death, which is considered inauspicious. But here what does Arjuna see Divya Ayudham he sees. Even the weapons become auspicious when those weapons belong to Bhagavan. So what is he seeing? He is seeing that all those weapons held by all these soldiers, they are divine weapons. It is Bhagavan himself who is uplifting these weapons and standing. So since these weapons belong to Bhagavan, it is Divyam. All weapons of Bhagavan is Divyam, is divine, because Bhagavan uses his weapons for dharma samsthapana, for establishing peace and harmony in the world. For establishing dharma, he uses weapons. So Bhagavan's weapon is called Divyayudha. Now what is Arjuna seeing here? In the battlefield, every weapon is a divine weapon because it belongs to Bhagavan alone. More of it we will see in the next class. Om Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinah Sarve Santu Niramayah Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Hari Om.